cabinets, and unfortunately the cabinet toe kick is already built in, and the tile that's existing unfortunately is 17.5 away from the wall, and the toe kick here is 18 inches. So we've got a 1/2 inch discrepancy, and I can't cut the bottom because it's got a front on it already. So it's I could if I had to, but shimming it's going to be the best way. So I went ahead and centered this out. So now what I need to do is just put these guys over there and get it raised up to the right amount. And once it's level and plumb, we'll be ready to start to add the side cabinets. What I'm doing with these shims is I'm overlapping them and I'm moving them like this to raise up the cabinet. I'm moving them like that so that the thicker parts become on top of each other. If I go like this, they become narrower. If I keep it even, I could use this same shim for the other cabinet as I put it on. So I'm just going to try to be the same distance here, overlap, as the other side, and it should be pretty close right from the start. Alright, so now we have that one done. This one goes on this side, obviously, this drawer bank. So that's going to be my mark from now on. Move it over that center line, and now I'm going to bring this over and carefully set it on top. This guy shimmed on the other side. This doesn't have a way to attach these, so I'm going to put my own attachment points in. So I'm going to secure those guys together with a screw on the face frame, and then I'm going to use face frame clamps in order to clamp that. Alright, so I got this thing snug, and all you have to do is loosely get this pulled together and then push this one. That will flush them up, and then this will squeeze it tight. And this is already painted, so it's just kind of... And because these are 1.5 inch face frames, if I just use this, they probably will work. But since I know this is maple, this is some seriously hard stuff. I doubt this is going to work. So I just might as well... I'm going to go ahead and use this drill with a 1/8 inch or so, whatever that is. And that'll just give me some bite into the other one, just a little bit. Just gonna give this a pilot. Okay, I went ahead and made these fillers. Hopefully it fits. And then this is going to go in between. And I wrote down here right side glue. And so this is the part that I ripped. I think I'm going to go back to the shop and recut these guys. I don't like this. I'm going to cut them a little bit bigger. And yeah, I want them to fit tighter. I want there to be a nice compression fit, so I'm going to go back to the shop and recut that. Okay, so I made some new pieces here, and I'm not going to use those old ones. They're too loose, so these are going to be a little too tight, so I'm going to have to fit them in. And to fit them, of course, I'm going to have to use my belt sander, but first thing I want to do is just kind of put it up here and see how it looks. That guy may not need to be fitted. I might actually be able to tap that in. So I'm actually going to use the pieces that I'm not going to use anymore, and I'm going to use this as my tapping block and put that guy in and just tap it flush. Bottom is a little bit looser, which is fine. I'm going to make sure that it's flush all the way down. Okay. Make sure the top is flush. Perfect. Alright. So now I can hit this with the screw. So this guy just pops off with clips. And I can hit that guy right there as well. Strong stuff. Alright, I'm going to go in there with this bit. This is a drill bit. It's a little bit bigger. Okay, so that just tightened it up just by attaching about that much to the depth of it. Very nice joint. Again, this is pre-finished stuff. Be a little tiny bead of caulking right there. Alright, now that's for the, I would say, easy one. This is going to be the hard one because this guy's got to be, not only does this have to be notched, I mean the piece has to be notched to meet this, so coped, and then the whole thing has to be fitted a little bit. So that's going to be a little bit more. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm scribing this. I've got this trim piece, the filler piece, mounted flush with this opening just to keep it parallel. And basically what I've done is I've just taken my dividers and I've set the distance, since I know this piece up here is tight inside there. I don't want to take any of that off. I'm going to set that as my maximum. And what happens when I come down is I will end up with a little sliver as it goes down and it continues to go. You'll see a little sliver start to appear, just ever so slight. That little. Now these clamps are kind of in the way, but you get the idea. You can see that. So just try to be careful and keep the compass, the dividers level. Don't don't do this. Keep the point where it needs to be, the reference point, because if you come in like this, it'll change the dimension on it. You see that? So you want it to be where you register it, the top, you want to be registering it all the way through and keep it level. Now as you come down to the bottom, I'm going to come into the baseboard, and the baseboard obviously is there. I'm going to need to cope the trim piece, the filler, to go around the baseboard. Now normally I would actually remove the baseboard and notch it, but I can't remove it and notch it here, so I'm actually going to do this and cut away this trim piece. So the first thing is you want to make it so that your point is touching the baseboard. This is where it's critical to have it level. Okay. See that? That's my shape there. I need to cut that into this trim. And this is maple, so this is pretty tough. Plus it's painted already, so, yeah. So I brought this in knowing that I was going to need this to do the fitting. This guy's great. So I can just take this, run the piece off of it. I've even got the clamp if I need the clamp. But right now I'm just going to take this piece and just kind of hang it off of it as I do this. Alright, that's what it looks like now. You can see my line right there. So I just took that bull nose part of it right there and I just hit that with the belt sander. I can go a little deeper with the belt sander just to get that cove, but I got to get that little area right there, that little lip and that little lip right there with the jigsaw. done with the rasp. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Alright, now I just checked it just to check, see what it looks like, and that looks pretty good. Okay, got this thing, camera set down there. My countersink bed is dull. Okay, so that's nice and flush. All right, now I just need to push this up. I'm starting at the bottom because this piece has got a little bit of a bow to it, and this one is going to be the inside one. So this is going to be the second one because it's the bow. I can push that in and get it flush. So you can see this is the goal here, right? To have that really flush and then have it fitted perfectly. So scribed is what that's called. And this is coped really nicely. And we're flush at the top and bottom, which obviously is really important. So this is really good. Everything looks really good. And when the painters come in and caulk for the walls, they're going to caulk that in. And man, that is really good. It's really good. So didn't even need to fine tune any of this. This was just one shot using this 99-cent divider. That's it right there. So that's it. Great results. And this is very flush, so that's really nice. Without doing the clearance hole with this bit here, it wouldn't be good. Because you'd be going through this maple, and this is super hard. So you got to pre-drill it, plus you got to use that clearance. And then, so we're only going in about that much into here. It's only about, I mean, we're going pretty far, obviously, but the actual meat that we're drilling into is about this much, because what happens, you put the 2.5 inch in there, and it goes to about right there, and then you tighten it up the rest of the way, so it gives you a nice tight joint. All right, so that's really good. I think we're done with this. Now we just need to do the handles. Put the handles on. And I don't know why the company didn't put those on, but we're going to have to put those on also. Okay, so I've got the handle here, and I'm going to measure these guys to see what the spread is on this. It's 5 inches. Okay, so you can see my jig. It's completely trashed, right? This is what I want to do, is circle that 5 inch mark there, and that's 5 inches from the center to there, So from there, the center point is 2.5 inches on each side. That gives me my 5 inches. And then what I do is I figure out the height. I want the handle to be centered on the drawer front. So if it's 5 inches, then I would set this at 2.5 inches from the center of the hole, and or whatever the distance is. And this is going to be set to make this to the center of the drawer front. So I just undo this knob here, and I take this out, and it'll take me to the center. So I just need to measure how long these drawer fronts are. 3 1/16. All right, now as we come down here, what we have to do is just make sure that you know which ones you're drilling and double check that. Now, lots of drill bits would be fine for this. I'm using a brad point bit, and this is actually a really good brad point bit. It cuts a nice clean edge. So just put this on there like that, flat against the top, registering there, and double check that that's centered, and it is. And that hole is going to... Okay, so now you can just start that hole, and then you can see, all right. Now, it's best to back up the cuts. So I just use one of the cutouts for something. I just use a scrap piece of wood, put it on the back side so it doesn't blow out the drawer box. Okay, let's check this guy. See how she fits. It's good.
Come over here, get my drill, make sure it's tight everywhere, up and down. That guy. Now of course, I'll do my pre-drilling. Complete it. Okay, so now that's done. And what I'm going to do is put this on here, and with the help of a screw, 2 screws, I'm actually going to secure this on here with the holes that I just used.
Now, it's a little bit strange because the space on these is so big. I'm not sure what they were thinking when they did the spacing on these, but the space is not good at all. However, that's not my thing. Okay, so now that guy's tightened on there. So I come to the other side, and now you know, I can hold it. I don't have to worry about it. These little flanges here are what they attach the screws, the drawer fronts with. And what I'm going to do is try to pop them off. I think I need a really sharp knife. I'm going to use my chisel. See if I can pop this off. Just take a 5/8 screw and secure it. 8 screws. So these do offer some flexibility, which is nice. take these and I just clip this guy right back on it. So now I can take these off. Okay, now to do the doors, they're going to be oriented vertically. I just changed the setup on here to be the distance I need from the top of the door to the first hole, and then 5 inches down from that, or whatever the spread is. And then from this area, which is the edge of the door, I just go in half the distance to put it in the middle. So 1.5 inches to the hole, and then that's it. Hole. So that's that. Put that over there. Do this one. I just spin it around. Now I'm working from the back side. And remember, I circled these, so hopefully I'll know which one it is. To do that, I want to make sure I use this block of wood so I don't get any splintering. Okay, I've got this Makita dust buster basically, and I've got this tip that goes with it, but I want to use my Festool vacuum, so I took one of these adapters I found somewhere. Maybe this is a Bosch one, and I melted it and fitted it to this. So essentially I made it bigger by melting it, and then it fits on my vacuum just like this. I have to put it on low to clean it, but you can see what a good job it does. I'm just going to take a piece of tape. Put it right by that cut line. And then as I cut this with my jigsaw, it won't be terrible. The blade a little bit. Try to keep the dust down and make the cut. Well, you can see the cutoff, that's pretty clean. And I might as well leave the tape on actually. I need to scribe the base. And that is going to be a little bit tricky to do. Alright. That's the shape I need to cut.